Hey everyone, Bob here, welcome back. So today we're going to talk about hamstrings. So maybe you have tight hamstrings, a lot of people do. And you've maybe been stretching them consistently and they remain tight. So our question is, why? So today on Going Deeper, we're going to go a little bit deeper and take a look at the hamstrings. So if I'm a muscle, where I attach on bones is clinically significant because when you move those bones, you're going to lengthen me, shorten me, twist me, move me sideways, move me front to back, etc. So let's just kind of take a quick look at the hamstring and maybe actually you'll see something you didn't know. So the hamstrings here on this chart, they actually attach to your pelvis and they come down and they wrap around and attach to the lower leg out here to your tibia. Isn't that interesting? So they're at your pelvis and your tibia. Which means if you want those hamstrings to lengthen, number one, they obviously have a rotational bias to them, don't they? That's the way they're attached. They're still going to move front to back, side to side, but they bias themselves in rotation. You're going to want the pelvis moving because we know it attaches to there. And you're going to want the lower leg doing something too. Really interesting. So in our traditional hamstring stretches, we might kind of sit down and reach forward or just bend forward like this or lie on our back and have our leg in the air. And those are all okay. But hamstring function, as we just talked about, is front to back, side to side, twist, leg, hip moving. Hamstring function's over here and those stretches are kind of over here. Can we get you closer? Okay, so I'm going to take you through a hamstring stretch today. We know we're going to have the foot doing something. We know we're going to have the pelvis doing something. We're actually going to drive the hands because the hands influence the pelvis and also influence the hamstring. For example, if I'm playing, say, lacrosse and I have my stick and I cut like that, well, my hands just drove across, which drove my pelvis, which said, hey, hamstrings, go that way, or go this way, or go down, or reach over my head. Hamstring, I need you for all of those. So here's what we're going to do. You're just going to take a step forward. You're going to take your hands and you're going to drive them behind you and over your head. So if you're this right leg, watch what happens. When I drive back, my hamstring just lengthened that way. When I drive forward, it just went that way. And those motions did the same on the other leg. And we're going to stand here, nice and easy, just 4 or 5 swings. Control the speed, control the motion, find your success point. So I just stretch those hamstrings front to back in what we call the sagittal plane. But sometimes I may be moving sideways. So here's what I'm going to ask you to do. You're going to widen your feet a little bit and you're going to take your hands and you're going to drive them right to left. Now notice my hands are starting the motion, but who else moved? My pelvis. Why? Hamstrings attached there. Okay, so I had to also stretch my adductors. When I went this way, I lengthened the hamstrings on the outside. When I went this way, I lengthened the ones on the inside. Perfect. Now I'm going to stand a little narrower than normal and do the same thing. So now when I'm narrower, notice how much more my hip has to do. Because when I cut, I might have to get through that hip. Hamstrings are still getting their work. Lastly, I'm going to rotate them. So I'm going to go back to my normal stance and turn my feet out. As soon as I turn my feet out, I just rotated those guys. And then I'm going to rotate my hands around. So I said, okay, hamstrings, you're going to rotate, but I'm going to ask for more. And maybe my hands are driving at the same time. Then I'm going to pigeon toe my feet in. And I'm going to do the same thing. So if I'm my hamstrings, here's what my hamstring just said. Wow, you move me front to back, that's great, I do that. You move me side to side, that's great, I do that. You rotated me, my hands were moving, my foot was moving. Hey, guess what? That's actually what I do. Thanks so much, Bob, I appreciate it. And also, you did it upright. I had to deal with gravity in the ground, I had to move my own mass momentum. Hamstrings say, I appreciate lying on the floor, but thanks so much for getting closer to what I do. Thanks for understanding me and helping me get loose and flexible. Have a great day.